Madayaw, welcome to Mapagyaman, interactive conversations on regenerative futures, proudly presented by the Davao Oriental State University Center for Futures Thinking and Regenerative Development. In this episode, we are joined by two very special guests. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our very own DOrSU President, Dr. Roy G. Ponce, and the co-founder and managing director of the International Institute of Knowledge Management, Director Isanka Gamage. Yes, before we begin, could you please hear some greetings from our very special guests?
Hello, everyone. I would like to thank our guest from the TIIKM. That stands for,
The International Institute of Knowledge Management.
and the co-founder and managing director, Mr. Isanka
Gamage.
is here with us, forging a partnership for an international conference. And so we invited him to be a guest here in our Futures Thinking Lab. Some thoughts from him.
Yes, Director.
Yes, I would say Aibowan for all of you. That's a traditional Sri Lankan greetings. I'm wishing you a long life to all of you.
Mabuhay, that's equivalent to
All right,
mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
Yes, in Philippines.
Right. So thank you very much for inviting to these very important discussions today, especially to your university in Philippines. This is my first time to Davao, especially to this city as well. So I'm really happy to be here and heard about all the works which are doing by university, especially with this event as well.
Thank you very much, Director Gamage, for joining us this morning. And welcome to DOrSU. Welcome to the city of Mati and to Davao Oriental. And as mentioned by President Ponce, we had just signed a memorandum of agreement to partner for the conduct of the 6th International Conference on Gender and Sexuality 2023. So DOrSU will be an academic partner of the TIIKM. And now, Director Gamage, would you please tell us more about the International Institute of Knowledge Management?
Oh yes, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Of course, we call the International Institute of Knowledge Management TIIKM. We are based in Sri Lanka, almost about 10 years old institute, but working with more than 350 universities across the globe. So especially we are trying to align all of our works with sustainable development goals, as well as connecting global South countries, especially when it comes to the scholars and higher education institutes. Connecting those global South countries is very important to work together to become a to create real global citizens. So to exchange our knowledge is very important. So as our key purpose of our institute, what we are trying to do to give support for higher educational institutes in across the globe was to achieve their goals, whatever the support they need, especially to collaborate with each other, with other countries, and support for the publication, knowledge sharing works. So those are the things which we are doing right now when it comes to the higher educational institutes. And also we are supporting for, especially for the scholars, the young scholars as well as senior scholars, because we believe our main duty is to create next generation, especially giving more opportunities for young scholars in different disciplines. So that's what we are trying to do. And also what we realized during our last couple of years, especially in our global South countries, most of scholars are doing their research. Sometimes those research not matching with real policymakers' requirement or sometimes industry requirement. So we are trying to bridge that gap. Of course, research are very important every country, but connecting those research with those relevant people are very important. So that's one part of our purpose. Then to do that, we are doing a lot of research workshops and trying to develop our authors and partners to the next level to make more publication work. Because what we realize, especially in these Asian region, there are plenty of research going on.
Yes,
But
definitely.
of course, really good research. We have good data. But when it comes to the publication, we are lacking with the publications. So there are different reasons for that. So that's why we are trying to connect with good profile, good other institutes to work together to make more publication. So we hope as a knowledge management institute, that's our duty to make more knowledge sharing platforms, to gather different people from different subjects areas. Of course, one of our key area is gender and women and gender, and also we are working with education, then public health, agriculture, aquaculture, other environmental science areas, of course social science, and arts and humanities subjects areas. So that's what right now we are doing. We always trying to make more collaborations to make more international people. So that's the brief introduction.
Yes, well, but that's amazing. In just a couple of years, the TIIKM has actually done so much in the research and knowledge management landscape. And now, for Dr. Ponce, sir, may I know what specific collaborations, what specific activities do you foresee DOrSU and TIIKM could have in the future?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. 𝘍𝘀𝘶𝗍𝘀, our director for extension, for actually connecting us. No, Mr. Isanka is a friend of Merrifield since 2022, and they were engaged in some collaborative research for gender and women and gender. And this is the reason that Mr. Isanka is here. And in our MOA signing, I can see future possibilities. We are a young university and we're still developing our niche and branding. And with TIIKM's track record and international network in terms of academics and research, I believe that they can bridge us to our vision. They are not only an organization that organizes conferences, but actually they provide capacity building and networking. And I actually like the idea of the global south, where countries in the global south are helping each other like brothers. And I think this is one way that we can uh, truly engage internationally. So, as part of this center, Mr. Isanka, because we wanted the university to be positioned as a regenerative futures university, and we established this podcast laboratory. So, my question: what future do you see for the global South countries? Like in your experience now with international networking, are we taking off? What scenarios are you seeing, particularly in your position that you are traveling globally and looking at the possibility of the global south? So, what's your foresight about the global south?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Wonderful question. So, I think this time period is very important, especially most of global South countries. When I'm working with those a lot of countries, and especially with higher educational institutes and people from those representation. So, what we realize, everyone looking for networking, more collaborations, but other special thing is we are facing quite similar issues in all the global south countries, then everyone searching for solutions individually. So
Oh yeah.
most of time, but why this global south concept is very important. Collectively it will be really easy for us to work together, then find good solutions. That's what especially as a scholars, that's what we have to do. At the same time, some cases, of course we have to get global north support as well, but some of concept coming from global north, maybe it's quite difficult to implement in global south countries. So that's why some of universities and some of scholars standing up to create this collaboration, especially with the global south countries, then having some joint research. Actually, most of universities, most of scholars now looking for collaborations for joint research, share their knowledge. So what we are trying to do to create a platform through conferences,
Mhm.
through workshops, through different exchange programs, um, to support to them to achieve those uh, goals. So to cue the, I hope I cue the answer for your questions. So this is the right time for every educational university, education institutes as well as scholars to stand up and join hand with other global South countries.
Uh, Thank you. I agree with you that the trend now, particularly in higher education, in research, and whatever academic engagement, is really about collaboration. And so we are looking in the future that we will be strongly engaged. And I think your coming here to DOrSU is already a signal
Yes.
of this trend. And so we will take action. So uh, possible scenario in the future will be possible engagement of faculty and students, not only in Sri Lanka, but also in the network of TIIKM, where we can engage. Like I said, we will be willing, hopefully, in the near future, if we have a good grasp now of our budget, then we can offer scholarships and fellowships to our small neighboring countries. So partners from Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, East Timor, these neighboring countries, Cambodia, Laos, where maybe we can offer small scholarships for them to come over to the university. So these are the possible scenarios and foresight and the strong engagement. I'm also looking at how TIIKM can help us, particularly in terms of publishing of our research outputs. I believe that the university now has a good emergence of researches in biodiversity and conservation, and we hope to expand that to agriculture, to social sciences. And yes, the trend now, our collaboration, the signal now is TIIKM reaching to us, and so I'm looking at the possible foresight of strong engagement in the near future. I like also to recognize our International Engagement Center, headed by Dr. Lilibeth Galvez, for really pushing the face of DOrSU to international engagement. And I'm really happy looking at a center very functional right now. So thank you for your insights, Sir Kamagi, and thank you for visiting us. We hope that we'll be able to do our part and in the upcoming conference. Uh,
Yes, yes.
yes, Vanessa.
Yeah, yes, sir. Actually, as I have mentioned earlier, we are an academic partner in the upcoming sixth International Conference on Gender and Sexuality 2023, which will be held in Colombo, Sri Lanka. I'd like to request Director Gamage to give us a brief overview of this conference.
Yes.
This is the sixth conference.
Exactly, yes. So thank you very much for giving that opportunity as well. So this year conference after the pandemic, first time we are going to have physical conference
Yes.
in Colombo, Sri Lanka on 19th and 20th October. So, but it will be a hybrid model conference, of course, physical plus virtual, because
Mhm.
most of conferences which we are organizing right now, we are doing with the hybrid model because most of the students, especially who are unable to get some funding, they can join virtually too. This year conference theme, especially for the gender and sexuality in the 21st century. So So that's the main focus about that. So there are a lot of participants we are expecting from all around the world, not only from Asian region but also African region, then Europe and other Western countries as well, to discuss about the future, as well as to give more opportunities for them to, especially for the scholars who are joining with us and presenting their research findings, to present at the conference and get good comments, especially for the young scholars, and to get good comments from and perspective from other researchers from different countries. And also at the end they will get opportunity to publish their research findings
Mm.
as well in top rank journals. So we are not give a guarantee, but we are supporting for them to select some journals, as well as through special issues we are selected papers we are going to publish. And also we are trying to develop those authors through different workshops, publication workshops, to match with their standards level to get some acceptance. And other important thing is when come to the conference, there'll be a lot of discussions going on with the conference days, and good networking opportunities people can get, and how other countries, what the real situations, because every country, most of countries these days are trying to implement and give more opportunities, and highly concerned about gender equality and gender sexuality concepts. So this, I think this is the right time which you are going to organize a conference, because during the pandemic we have seen a lot of issues and a lot of violations we had gender. So everything is going to discuss and give some, find some solutions too, not only just discussion about what are the issues, because the conference what we are trying to organize to find some solutions and give some solutions at the end. So that's what we have to do. Yeah, so that's about the conference.
Great.
Who are hearing this podcast, I would like to give open invitation to everyone. So just have a look our website. You can go to TIIKM.com and find all the relevant conferences too. Then, if you're willing to present any paper, you can submit it. Otherwise, if you're willing to join with the conference, you can just attend to the conference as well by submitting your registration form, and our team will guide you.
Okay, that's amazing. So, again, we are inviting the general public. If all interested researchers, academics, students, please join us in the 6th International Conference on Gender and Sexuality 2023. This is in hybrid setup. So, if you cannot go in Sri Lanka, you can still join us virtually. Now, speaking of international conferences, this is just my personal thought, since the DOrSU administration is very much supportive to its academics in terms of joining conferences. I'd like to ask Dr. Ponce, why is this so? Why is the DOrSU administration giving us its all-out support in terms of going to conferences, presenting these papers?
Yes, with this conference, I actually expect that our Gender and Development Center will be highly engaged, and with my full support and in the administration, because this is the only way that we can engage, one of the ways that we can engage internationally, and they will know that DOrSU is in this part of the world. No, in fact, the presence of Mr. Isanka here is actually a result of Dr. Mary Fields' presentation in Thailand, and
Thailand.
was able to establish this network. And so I'm expecting our gender and development team, now headed by Dr. Helena Dupa, to be highly engaged in this partnership. So we are a partner for this conference. It's part of our international engagement direction, and so we will be very supportive, and that's really the purpose of academe engaging with these very important conversations internationally. Yeah. So I'd like to thank the Office of the PIO also for having this quick conversation with
Yes, very.
Mr. Isanka.
Very just a quick but very fruitful discussion and conversation, of course, with our very own DOrSU President, Dr. Ponce, and of course, our guest from TIIKM, Director Isanka. And now, ladies and gentlemen, that ends our episode. Thank you. I'd like to thank once again our guests. Shall we give them a virtual round of applause? And please stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. Hiraya Manawari. Thank you very much.